What's up? I know it's been about 2 weeks since I've uploaded some stuff to my channel, but now that I have some time, I wanted to get you guys all caught up on what I've been up to and give you guys some tips on how to make a living off Craigslist. So these past 2 weeks have been super hectic for me lately. To give you a rundown of what I've been up to, I've been doing food photography with DoorDash. I've been doing editing for an Instagrammer and YouTuber, Andrea Espada. Definitely check her out. Here's a link to one of her latest videos. I've been doing some more photo gigs here and there, events, glamour shots, things like that. I just finished doing a little bit of footage for a festival that the Moves Collective were doing. If you guys remember them, you can check out a previous episode where I saw them at the Music Box in San Diego not too long ago, right up there. But I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what this episode is all about, and that is making a living off of Craigslist. Since March of this year, I have been making a living off of Craigslist. Making a living for me means making $1,500 or more per month. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I make, but I will say that I make over $1,500 from Craigslist every single month. Actually, it was since February of this year, so that is February, March, April. So for the past 8 months, the bulk of my income has come from Craigslist. So let me give you a little backstory on how this happened. When I came back from the ship this year, I realized that I wasn't really interested in working for anybody else and doing another job. When I came back from the ship last year, I got a job doing telemarketing, and I was pretty good at it, but I didn't want to do that. And I didn't feel like going through the hassle of finding a new job again. And even though I could, I just didn't want to. So I took to Craigslist, and I had a little bit of experience last year during a break in between ships where I had 1 month. 1 month wasn't really enough time for me to get a job and then start working and then leave. Honestly, when you're working on ships, that's one of the most difficult things. If you have a long break in between, it's kind of hard to tell a prospective employer, yeah, I'm a really hard worker, but I gotta go in like 3 months. So that's not gonna be a problem, right? Anyway, I had a little bit of experience using Craigslist and getting gigs. That's actually how I started becoming a professional photographer. 99% of the jobs that I get, maybe not that, maybe like 90. A lot of the jobs that I get are actually from Craigslist to this day. But when I came back from the ship this year, I had about 1 week until I was gonna go to Honduras and see my girlfriend, Carlota. When I came back from the ship earlier than expected, money was a little tight, so I needed to make X amount of dollars to A, be able to pay for what needed to be paid for when I got back home, and B, to get through 2 weeks of not working because I was going to be on vacation with my girlfriend. So I had to make $700 in 1 week. How did that break down? I essentially went to Craigslist and I made $700. So the jobs that I ended up getting from Craigslist were a lot of random odd jobs, like captioning for a video. More than half of the 700 came from captioning for videos. I got 2 gigs doing that. I managed to find another job where I was delivering laundry. I got a couple graphic design gigs and a couple other things that aren't super important, but it all added up to $700. Now after that week, I thought to myself, that's potentially $2,800 that I could be making grinding on Craigslist full time. So I went on vacation, hung out with my girlfriend, I didn't have to worry about money problems, and then I came back. So when I got home from vacation, I went straight back to the grind and I made about $500, and I realized I can do this. I can actually make a living off Craigslist. And on top of that realization, Carlota was actually going to be out here for 3 months, visiting, hanging out with me, spending time, so on and so forth. And I didn't want a job where I had to be there 9 to 5 while she just stayed home, and I only get to see her in the mornings, evenings, and weekends. I did that last year when she came down and visited for 2 weeks. That was not fun. Anyway, I went back to Craigslist and I really made it work, and I made it worth my time, and here I am today. So that's how I got to where I am with Craigslist, and that's a little bit of a backstory, but I know you're here for the goods, and if you stuck with me this long, then you definitely deserve to hear my tips on how to make a living off of Craigslist. Number 1 is you have to stay consistent and persistent. The thing about Craigslist is after a certain number of replies, people stop checking. If you're in the first 5 to 10 people who respond to an ad, that significantly increases your chances of them actually looking at your response. And the thing about Craigslist, if you really want to make it on Craigslist, is you gotta be on it 24/7. It sucks, but it's work. If you look at it like work, then it's not going to be so bad. So the way that it looked when I was constantly on Craigslist is I would peruse through the gig section. So I would open up gigs and I would look through all of the content there. And I would look through everything. And if you're new to looking through this section, it's actually kind of demotivating because a lot of that stuff is scams and porn. And anything and everything in between. But Craigslist is great. There's some really good opportunities for you to make some good money there. You just have to sift through all the bullshit. As far as the best times to be checking Craigslist, Monday mornings are really great. Mornings in general are pretty good, but I found things anywhere from the morning to the afternoons to the evenings. Times you can afford not to really think about it, Friday nights, weekends. You're not going to really find very much on the weekends and Friday nights because everybody's pretty much out. So Monday morning through Friday morning, all the way through then. If you want to be on Craigslist 24/7, go for it. If you have nothing else to do, just have the Craigslist window open, refresh that bad boy every 5 to 10 minutes, and you're golden. Number 2, play to your strengths. Craigslist is going to be way better for you if you have multiple things that you can do. When I first started on Craigslist, I was only looking for graphic design gigs. I found a few and they paid, but I was not making $1,500 a month. A year later, I was looking for photography and graphic design gigs. I was making a little bit more money, probably 2 to 3 times as much. Not too long after that, I started looking for video work on top of photo and graphic design. Eventually, I was able to stack everything together and look for different types of gigs where I can make money. So that could be from a video editing job, doing captioning, doing photography, doing photo editing, looking at Word documents and Excel spreadsheets, doing videography. So the more things that you can do, the better. It only serves to increase your chances of finding something on Craigslist. Number 3, reply the right way. What I mean by this is several things. Don't make it hard for the person to read your reply. Make it really simple and get to the point. When you send that email, it's like a cover letter. And you don't want them reading this cover letter for 5 minutes because they don't have that time. You want it straight, heavy-hitting, and to the point. Usually my emails sound something along the lines of, "Hi so-and-so, I would like to offer my services as a professional whatever. I've been experienced for X amount of years. In addition, I can do these things. Here's a link to my portfolio, or here's a link to some examples of my work. Please let me know if you're interested in working with me." And it's that simple. I try not to bore them with any sales pitches because it's just not gonna work. And something else that's really important is if you're in the creative space in photo, video, graphic design, fine art, so on and so forth, make sure you have a killer portfolio. If you want to check mine out, you can check out my personal website, jordanfmartin.com, or you can check out my company website, startinglinestudios.com. Either one of those links back to my work. One of them includes music and graphic design. The other one is strictly for photo and video, which also encompasses Carlota's work as well. And the last point, number 4, is be persistent. I know this is kind of involved in the first point, but this is really important because you may not find a gig for maybe a week, but you've been spending 24/7 on it. You have to understand that there's a flow to things. And there are so many variables that may be causing the person that you're emailing not to get back to you. So a lot of it is going to be trial and error. I've went through countless revisions of different types of emails that I've sent to people. I used to have to send about 20 emails before I got one back. And that's when things were good. And now, off the top of my head, I think I send about 3 to 5 and I get an email back. But I am a lot more picky, so I suppose it all kind of works itself out. But definitely don't get too hung up on your results if you're just starting out trying to use Craigslist, because it takes some time to learn. So those are my tips for you on how to make a living off of Craigslist, specifically through the gig section. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you like what I do on this channel and you want to show some support, hit that like button. If you're interested in seeing more content just like this from a guy like me, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notifications every time I upload a video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.